This is very simple. I'm gonna try to do this in 2 sentences, and essentially, once I say those 2 sentences, I don't think you're going to be able to disagree with me.
Okay.
When I say somebody in football is a number one, that player will be the player who touches the ball more than anybody else on the team other than the quarterback. That's what I consider a number one. All right? Deebo, over the course of a season, all I'm saying is Deebo Samuel is not a one. He can be a one at different times. He can take over stretches of games. He can take over games of football, 4 to 6 weeks. But it's like if I said Klay Thompson's a 2, Steph's got 1 and Klay's a 2, like who would argue that? Doesn't mean Klay's not great. It's just Klay could not carry the load like a Steph. That's all I'm saying.
The Christian McCaffrey-less San Francisco 49ers, this is how I look at it, Steiny, and why I call them a one. When you played the Niners, like the last playoff run, if I'm a D coordinator, who do we got to stop? Not whoever was running, not Mostert, not running back by committee. It was
Mitchell.
Deebo.
Again,
that's why he was an all-pro.
Well, I'm not saying Deebo Samuel's not a better football player than Elijah Mitchell. I'm just saying Elijah Mitchell carried the ball 225 times last year, which is, he just happened to be involved in more play. Like to me, you got to be the horse. That's all.
And now they got,
and he's been the horse in various games
and playoff games.
Exactly. But I don't think you want to play that game all year. That's all I'm saying.
And if we're correct, Steiny, maybe that led to something with the negotiations that maybe, and again, we've never heard Deebo say, hey, they're using me too much. But conventional wisdom would be,
you know what, dude?
This was getting old.
I think
and maybe that's why they went. And we want Deebo here for a while, not limping off the frozen tundra in Green Bay, on the ground in Dallas. And to his credit, I call him the tank, he always came back.
I could see that.
And now it's like, hey, Deebo, we don't even need
I could absolutely see Deebo Samuel during contract negotiations saying, guys, I can't keep running 10, 12 times a game. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan looking him in the eye and saying, Deebo, we did that for one reason, and it was only one reason, necessity. We lost all our running backs. We needed to we needed you there. But trust me, it's not how I want to use you, and we are going to continue to look for a running back that can be more of a carrier. And maybe he said, I trust you. Or, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Let's go to Alex. Alex is in Oakland. What's up, Alex?
Hey, what's happening, Steiny? What's up, Guru?
Hey.
So, Steiny, you're kind of contradicting yourself. You said earlier, I know you just kind of cleaned it up right there before you asked me, but Deebo has played just as much as McCaffrey has, and you said he'd have to play and hold the team as much as McCaffrey. He did that last year. You also said that McCaffrey, that he would be able, well, I guess my point is that he would be able to hold down a team. That's exactly what Deebo did, and he's played as many games as McCaffrey did last year. Deebo did, and held the team down. So you're saying he couldn't do it, he wouldn't be able to do it, but he did do it.
He did it for a stretch of games. He didn't do it for the whole season because Mitchell had more touches than him. It's a matter of touches. If that's,
and
I'm
people
really
appreciated you clearing up. You're not saying Mitchell's better than Deebo.
Right.
You did. You said
I'm going to clear up their lack of understanding.
Because I'm
going to pull a Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. What did he say? Always great when more people can understand.
Oh, well, I hadn't heard that.
Actually, the more the better, I can help educate.
Listen to this. Listen to this stretch, Steiny.
Last point. And
take your time.
Christian McCaffrey had consecutive years where he, I think he had almost 400 touches. Yeah. 400. 350, I think. I think he had, 60. I think it was up around 400 if I remember correctly when they acquired it.
And that's where I was
going.
Big
difference.
When you look at the game, the logs games, Steiny, 2020 he played 3. So when we talk about McCaffrey, 2021 he played 7. 2022, he played 6.
Yeah, he's gotten hurt.
Yeah, no doubt.
So is Deebo.
Right. But
in fewer carries.
Understand. But now, you never once said into the mic, McCaffrey's Earl Campbell, give it to him 40 times. You didn't. The beauty of him is you can run him between the tackles, but you might, if I'm Kyle, how much do we want this guy to do that? Football's a brutal game. I don't got to tell you that. But moving forward, that's something to watch. And now that the Niners got a plethora of threats and weaponry, I don't believe you want to give it to McCaffrey 30 to 35 times. I'm not saying he can't handle it, but it looks, he can do it all. But he's got 3 years not playing 8 games in 3 straight seasons. So when we talk about Deebo being nicked up, limping off is different than being out.
415, based on your logic, only running backs can be ones. Yeah, that's basically right.
But you don't mean that.
Yes, I do. Because running backs tend to have the ball. Like, to me, a one is which player on your team is most relied upon to get
go to
yardage.
Your team. Huh? Justin Jefferson. I love you, Dalvin Cook. The one is JJ in Minnesota.
If you want to argue that, that's fine. But then you're talking about the best receiver in the game, essentially.
One of them.
And Deebo's not the best receiver in the game.
But he's a dual threat.
I mean, you think
he's
Ayuk's a better
route
receiver now.
It's not route runner.
Right? Used to love Deebo. Now. Let's go to Brad in San Ramon. What's up, Brad? How you doing, buddy?
Good, thank you, guys. Yeah, calling about Deebo. Goo, you're right again. Deebo is the number one.
Got that.
Nice job, it has to do with the fact that it's not just the skill level, but it's also the threat level.
Yeah.
Think about Steph Curry. When Curry gets on the court, everybody knows what he's going to do, but the defense still has to play differently and adjust based on him, and that's what Deebo does. He forces the defense to do different things because he appears in different sets.
Okay. Let me tell you something. If I ever said something like that on the radio, you know how many stick-to-basketballs I get? You know how many stick-to-basketballs?
Nobody. It was just you saying that the one. What you were giving one.
Get out of here. Right. Come on now. It's just Deebo Samuel is just like Steph Curry. That's too dumb to address.
I think I know where he was going.
Dumb to address.
There's only one Deebo Samuel in the league.
You know it, baby.
Right.
He is
Kyle
a special player.
So I don't want to get into semantics about is he a one.
I don't remember if you remember. Well, I don't know if you remember because you don't listen to our interviews. I asked Deebo. I said to Lorenzo Neal, I said the 49ers, they have 2 players, Lo. They have 2 players that, here's what I can't believe. Here's what I can't believe. This is why I respect these guys so much, because you guys are playing NFL football. You're at the highest possible level.
Yeah.
The greatest players on planet Earth are playing football. And the Niners have 2 guys that, to me, just a sports fan, I can tell they're better than anybody else on the field.
Okay.
Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel.
Right.
Okay? It's Deebo Samuel. He can't be tackled like other guys. Yeah. He is unbelievable. He is an incredible weapon. I'll stop there.
I'm blushing. You can't tell, but you didn't say anything wrong, bud.
But he's kind of like
a car crash.
He's kind of like a Jamal Crawford in the NBA. Like,
I'm picturing him on TNT. Go ahead.
He can get you 20 off the bench, which is like, that's better than if he were your starter. And it's hard to explain.
He plays violently, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but he never won. I don't know. That's why I was fascinated when he scrubbed IG. I keep going there. I know they got a game, Steiny, but Deebo is rare. He's one of a kind.
Yep.
And I honestly believe he has some say-so, or his agent, about, hey, look, guys, I can take us down the stretch, but it don't take Einstein to figure out I'm a load. And when you got me running up against a brick wall in maybe week 7,
right.
I don't know if that's going to.
So you're answering your own question about why he's not a 1. If Deebo Samuel that was part of management where he said, I can't run the ball as much, I mean, that's basically saying because I'm not a 1.
But we got to keep it real. We got to put all the chips on the table. He also had 1,000 yards in the air before we actually saw him turn into what he turned into. So, Steiny, It's just, I guess we're just different. We're disagreeing on the usage of a one. This dude is special.
My definition of a one is very simple. It's the guy who touches the ball the most.
No, but then
other than the quarterback.
You're saying Elijah Mitchell's a one on the Niners.
When he's healthy.
I'm not throwing shade at him.
When he's healthy, he rushes 20 times a game.
That doesn't.
And establishes.
So does every other running back everywhere.
Okay.
But that don't make him a one.
Is that true?
Yeah. Okay. Every running back would be all pro. They're not.
Okay.
Is it possible to have a number one at different positions, a number one running back and a number one option receiver?
I believe the Niners have that right now currently.
That's fine.
And a one at tight end.
I made it clear what I thought a number one was. So by my definition, all I'm saying is, McCaffrey's a one.
Kittle like a niner. So, see, now I can't do this. I can't. Because
this is stupid. Let's move on.
It is. I'd love you for that. Because I was going to, you win NBA, Jamal Crawford.
Ben. What if Ben's in Oakland? Come on.
You've never done that.
I know. Well, I do.
Ronald Tillman on Twitch didn't like it. But go ahead.
Ben, he wants to come down my road anyway.
Right. That's what I was trying to prevent.
Yeah. I've been waiting to come down your road for a while, Steiny.
Finally have something.
You just hit on this, but so you're saying who's the number one on the Vikings?
Right.
Is Dalvin Cook, not Jefferson?
Probably, yeah.
Who's the number one? So who's the number one on the Dolphins? It's not Tyreek Hill?
It could be. Did he lead the team in touches?
But if I'm a coordinator, go ahead. The call's calling.
Like, I don't understand what's so hard. You can say, Steinmetz, your definition of a one is idiotic. Like, say that.
Your definition of a one is idiotic. Okay. I'm saying that. Because what you're doing now is Tyreek Hill's a one. He's a threat.
He's a one receiver.
He may not get the ball more than Mostert, who I love Mostert, but the one is the dude that coordinators stay up at night. We got to take him away. That's all.
And don't put words in my mouth. I never said you don't
say it if you agree with it.
It's about who touches the ball the most. To me, if that's stupid, then that's stupid. Which I get. I
feel like who's on first?
I mean, if anybody okay, let's put it this way. Is there anybody out there that thinks Deebo Samuel can last a full year?
Now, these are two different things. Okay.
Leading the 49ers in touches with a combination of runs and passes.
My hands up. I do. I would be nervous if I had to do it by default, and this is what the Niners have done. It got you to a Super Bowl and 2 NFC championship games.
Okay, then, so what's Kittle? Kittle then can't be a one.
You're already going to love me for
Kittle's
this.
not a one.
See?
You can't have 2 ones.
No. In your world, because you're so fixated on numbers. Kittle's a threat. Now, I love that
they're all threats, Goo. Well, you're missing my point. Who gets the ball the most? Who gets the ball the most? When it's at the end of the day, who has the ball the most?
The running backs, Donnie.
All right.
You would tend to think.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. Okay. Right. I'm just saying, I guess it's always going to be a running back, especially a running back who can catch out of the backfield. Or like, what's the guy's name? Patterson?
Cordarrelle?
Yeah. How many touches does he get?
That's incredible.
That's why I didn't say it. I swear to God. That's why I didn't say it. So how many total touches did he have in a year?
A bunch.
But not as much as you think.
Well, but you're not saying he's a one. And he's a good player.
Honestly, here's the thing. This is where we're having the difference. Okay. It's not about how good or bad the guy is. I want to see how many times he touched the ball.
This year, 170. Last year, 200.
200 times, yeah. I mean, here's what I mean. Unfortunately, he's their one. And that means you're probably not going to be that great. But he's still, who's the one on, who's a bad team? Who's the one on,
Pittsburgh?
No. I'm thinking even of basketball. Who's the number one on?
That's where I was going.
Who's the one on
Charlotte?
Who's the number one on the Atlanta Hawks? Well, perfect. It's Trae Young.
I like Trae.
What I'm saying is, if he's your one, you ain't that good.
Well, that's an example, even though I like Trae, but it's totally different sport. You might be onto something if he's your best player.
And you're not I don't want to
No, you get. I think you get it. You're fixated on the numbers.
I'm not saying anybody's wrong.
Right. But
what I'm fixated on the
numbers. What the people are speaking, Steiny, is I believe with your metric, Scrubs can be a number one.
Yes.
They would get And that's an oxymoron.
I mean, like,
number one in scrub. That, you know what I mean? That's how it don't make sense.
Well, like,
because ones are bosses, ones are all-stars.
Like Kemba Walker was a 1.
And that's the perfect.
Was he? He shouldn't have been.
There we go.
But
we can move on now.
Rasheed Wallace.
Was the comp I was trying to get.
Rasheed Wallace. Another example.
I love Sheed.
Yeah, guess what? He didn't win in Portland when he was a 1.
Andrew Wiggins, Minnesota.
There you go. Lord. That's kind of what I'm. Yeah.
I think we got past this.
We ain't like other shows. We actually like each other.